Good morning, champions. Today, I want to give you something powerful, something that can recode your destiny, rewire your mindset, and realign you with your purpose. And it's not complicated. In fact, it's simple. Speak these 10 things every morning and watch your life change. I'm not just talking about wishful thinking. I'm talking about weaponizing your words to shape your world. Because hear me, your mouth is the pen and your life is the paper. What you speak today becomes the world you walk in tomorrow. Let's go. 1, I am designed for greatness. I am designed for greatness. Before you were born, before you took your first breath, before the world gave you a name or an identity, you were already marked with purpose. Greatness isn't something you earn, it's something you're born with. It's in your DNA. You weren't made for mediocrity. You weren't crafted to just exist, to just pay bills and pass time. You were designed for greatness. That means greatness was the blueprint. It was the original intention. You were custom built with something in you that the world needs. There's no one else like you. Your fingerprints, your voice, your story, your fire. All of it was created for impact. But life tries to make you forget that. From the moment you enter the world, the voices around you start trying to shrink you. Society teaches conformity, not greatness. Schools teach obedience, not vision. And the world will keep telling you, stay in your lane, don't dream too big, play it safe. But that's not your design. That's the noise trying to silence your greatness. When you say, I am designed for greatness, you are reminding yourself that your identity is not in what you do, it's in who you are. A lion doesn't become a lion because it hunts. It hunts because it's a lion. It doesn't need permission to roar, and neither do you. Greatness is not a destination, it's a decision. It's waking up every morning and choosing to walk in the truth of your design, even when circumstances try to contradict it. Being designed for greatness means you are not here by accident. Every struggle you face, every delay, every rejection, it's all part of the refining process. Diamonds don't shine without pressure. Gold doesn't glow without fire. So if you've been through the fire, if you've been under pressure, don't count it as a curse, count it as confirmation. Because greatness isn't comfortable. It doesn't grow in convenience. It grows in challenge and discipline and stretching. Most people want the fruit of greatness, but they don't want the root. They want the spotlight without the sacrifice. But when you understand that you were designed for greatness, you stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. You stop waiting for someone to validate you. You create, you build, you create. You give, you lead, not because it's easy, but because it's in you. The design demands it. Being designed for greatness doesn't mean you won't fail. It means you won't stay there. It means you carry a bounce-back spirit. It means even when you're down, you're not done. You might bend, but you don't break. You may pause, but you don't quit. Because you know that greatness was never about being flawless, about being fearless in the face of failure. It's about getting back up again and again, not because you feel like it, but because your design requires it. This statement, I am designed for greatness, is not arrogance. It's alignment. You're not puffing yourself up, you're waking yourself up. You're breaking free from the lies that say you're not enough. You're reminding your soul that you were made with intention for a mission on a timeline that was divinely set. And no mistake, no limitation, no opinion, and no fear can cancel what you were created for. Greatness isn't just what you do, it's who you are when you remember who you are. 2, my past does not define me, my decisions do. My past does not define me, my decisions do. Your past is a chapter in your story, not the entire book. Too often we carry the weight of past failures, mistakes, and regrets like chains around our ankles, preventing us from moving forward. We believe that what we've done, where we've been, and who we were somehow has the final say in who we can become. But that's not true. Your past is not a sentence, it's a lesson. And no matter what you've experienced, no matter what has happened to you, you have the power to redefine yourself through the decisions you make today. The truth is, your past is just information. It's a data point, a marker that tells you what happened before, but it doesn't have the power to dictate your future unless you allow it to. Every moment you spend dwelling on the past is a moment stolen from your potential future. You cannot change what's already happened, but you can choose how it influences your next steps. And that's where your power lies, in your decisions. The power to create a new future begins with the choices you make right now. You can choose to let your past failures teach you how to be stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Or you can choose to let them imprison you in regret and self-doubt. You can decide to see every mistake as a lesson, every setback as a setup for a comeback, and every disappointment as a stepping stone toward your destiny. What's more powerful than that? You don't have to let yesterday's mistakes dictate today's possibilities. The weight of your past doesn't diminish the potential of your future. It's easy to look back and say, I messed up. I made bad choices. I wasn't good enough. But doing so traps you in a cycle of shame and self-blame. It keeps you anchored to a version of yourself that no longer exists. The version of you who failed is not the same version of you who is determined to succeed today. The version of you who was broken is not the same as the version of you who is healed and is rising. What truly matters now is what you do with the present moment. Your decisions shape who you are becoming, not the person you once were. Right now, in this very moment, you have the opportunity to decide what your next step will be. And that decision, whether it's small or large, will send you on a new path. It will determine the direction of your future, not the past. People often think that because they've made mistakes or encountered failure, they are forever defined by those experiences. But the truth is, your identity is not tied to what you've done, it's tied to what you choose to do next. You can choose to redefine yourself at any moment. Every decision you make from here on out can lead you to a new level of success, happiness, and fulfillment. The power lies in your hands, not in your history. You are not a product of your past. You are the creator of your future. The decisions you make today, whether they involve your mindset, your actions, or your interactions with others, are the decisions that define the person you are becoming. You are not stuck in your story unless you decide to be. You can rewrite the narrative. You can take the pen and choose a different path, a different outcome, a different life. You are not a victim of your past, but a master of your destiny. Stop allowing the past to dictate what you can or cannot achieve. Stop giving your past the power to determine your self-worth. The strength to change your life lies in your ability to make decisions that move you forward, not backward. Make the decision today to let go of the weight of your past, to forgive yourself, to learn from the lessons it's taught you, and to use those lessons to fuel your progress. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. The power of defining who you are and who you will become lies entirely within you. And that power begins with the choices you make now. 3, I attract opportunities because I add massive value. I attract opportunities because I add massive value. At the core of success, both in business and life, is the principle of value. The world doesn't owe you anything. But what it does offer is an abundance of opportunities, waiting for those who are willing to create value and offer it in a way that benefits others. The truth is, the more value you add, the more opportunities you attract. But here's the catch. You don't attract opportunities by chasing them directly. You attract them by making yourself a source of value. When you wake up each day with the mindset that you are here to add value, everything changes. Instead of focusing on what you can get, you start thinking about what you can give. This simple shift in perspective can transform your entire approach to work, relationships, and even personal growth. Adding value doesn't mean doing what's easy or expected. It means going above and beyond, offering something that others can't get from just anyone. It means becoming someone people can rely on, someone who improves the lives of others just by being present. Too often people focus on what they can extract from a situation. They want to know what's in it for me. But successful people, the ones who consistently win in life and business, don't think like that. They think, how can I make this better? How can I serve others in a way that no one else does? They understand that when you focus on adding massive value, you don't have to chase success. It will naturally find its way to you. This principle works in all areas of life. In your career, you don't get promoted just by doing the bare minimum. You get promoted by adding so much value that people can't imagine the company or organization without you. You become the go-to person, the problem solver, the innovator, the one who takes initiative and goes the extra mile. When you offer that level of value, doors open. People start to notice you. Opportunities start to flow your way, almost like a magnet pulling in success. In relationships, whether personal or professional, value works the same way. When you focus on contributing to the well-being of others, whether it's through your time, your support, your expertise, or your kindness, you naturally build strong connections. You don't just show up to take, you show up to give. This approach strengthens bonds and creates networks of people who trust and respect you. Trust me, those networks turn into opportunities, often when you least expect it. It's not about how loud you shout, how hard you chase, or how many people you try to impress. It's about the silent, powerful act of continuously adding value in everything you do. When you create value, the world responds. But here's the thing, the value you add doesn't always have to be grand. It doesn't need to be earth-shattering, groundbreaking, or revolutionary. It just has to be genuine. Whether it's taking the time to listen to someone, going the extra mile in your work, sharing your knowledge to help others grow, or creating something that solves a problem, small acts of value compound over time. Every time you go beyond what's expected, you send a signal to the world, I'm here to make a difference. And when the world sees you as someone who is committed to making things better, who is committed to helping others succeed, opportunities start coming your way. You start seeing doors open that you never even knew were there. You start receiving invitations that others dream of. The key is consistency. You cannot just add value once and expect the world to shower you with rewards. You have to show up every day determined to make a positive impact. And it's this consistency that ultimately attracts the success and opportunities that align with your value. When you adopt the mindset of adding massive value, you stop worrying about where opportunities are going to come from. They will find you. Whether it's a new business deal, a promotion, a collaboration, or a meaningful relationship, opportunities are drawn to value. And you don't have to beg for them. You don't have to chase them down. You just have to keep showing up with your value, knowing that the world will respond to it in the most unexpected ways. The law of attraction is simple. Give and you shall receive, not because you're asking for it, but because your value is undeniable. 4, I walk in abundance, not lack. I walk in abundance, not lack. Abundance is a mindset, not a condition. It's the lens through which you see the world, and it dictates how you experience life. Many people live in a state of lack, constantly focusing on what they don't have, what's missing, and what they wish they could achieve. They look at their bank accounts, their relationships, their health, and think, I don't have enough. But abundance is not something that comes from external circumstances. It's something you create internally. When you walk in abundance, you stop measuring life by what you lack and start experiencing it through the perspective of what you already have and what is possible. The abundance mindset doesn't mean that everything will always be perfect or that you will never face challenges. It means that no matter what comes your way, you know there is always more than enough to handle it. There is always more opportunity, more growth, more love, and more success to be had. When you walk in abundance, you understand that there are unlimited possibilities available to you at any given moment. You begin to see that the world is full of opportunities waiting for you to step into them, not because you're entitled to them, but because you believe in the endless supply of resources that can support your growth and dreams. People with a mindset of lack are always looking for limitations. They believe that the world is a finite place, that there's only so much success to go around, and that someone else's success means less for them. They compete, they envy, they hoard. They make decisions from fear, believing that there isn't enough to go around. But when you walk in abundance, you understand that there is always enough for everyone, and that the universe is designed to support those who are open to receiving its blessings. Abundance is not a zero-sum game, it's a vast, overflowing river, and you are free to drink from it as much as you need. The beauty of walking in abundance is that it transforms your energy. When you believe there's more than enough, you stop operating from a place of desperation or need. Instead, you operate from a place of gratitude, knowing that whatever you put out into the world will come back to you. This doesn't mean that you expect things to just magically appear without action, but it does mean that you trust the process. You understand that as long as you keep giving, keep serving, keep working, the resources will come. You no longer worry about where the next opportunity will come from, because you know that the world is always conspiring in your favor. Walking in abundance also means you stop worrying about what others have. You stop comparing yourself to others because you understand that someone else's success does not diminish your own potential for success. You begin to celebrate others knowing that their success is proof that more is possible. Their victories don't take away from your own, they show you what is possible and remind you that there is no shortage of success, wealth, or happiness in this world. Instead of feeling threatened by others' achievements, you feel inspired by them. When you walk in abundance, you also let go of scarcity in your relationships. You stop holding on to people or situations out of fear of losing them. You give freely without expecting anything in return. You let go of jealousy, possessiveness, and the need to control. Abundance in relationships means loving others fully without fear that your love will not be reciprocated. It means giving your time, energy, and support freely, knowing that it will come back to you in ways that are even more fulfilling than you can imagine. This abundance mindset extends to all areas of your life, your health, your finances, your personal growth, and your happiness. When you walk in abundance, you stop saying, I can't afford that, or I don't have the time for that. Instead, you start asking, how can I make this happen? You see challenges as opportunities for growth, and you trust that whatever resources you need will show up in the right time and place. You stop living in fear of what might go wrong and start trusting in the process, knowing that the universe will provide what you need when you need it. Living with an abundance mindset is a decision. It's a choice you make every single day. You choose to see the world as full of possibilities. You choose to believe that there is always enough love, enough success, enough opportunity, and enough resources. When you walk in abundance, you stop living as though you're running out of time, money, or love. You begin to live as if the world is always giving you exactly what you need to create the life you want. 5, I take action even when I don't feel like it. I take action even when I don't feel like it. The most successful people in life are not those who wait for the perfect moment, the right mood, or the ideal circumstances. They are the ones who take action even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, and even when they don't feel like it. This is the key to creating extraordinary results. The reality is that motivation comes and goes, and your feelings will not always align with your goals. But your success is determined by the actions you take when your motivation is low, your energy is drained, and your mind is telling you to give up. Taking action when you don't feel like it requires discipline. Discipline isn't about having more willpower than others. It's about being willing to show up for yourself, even when you're not in the mood. It's about making a decision to move forward no matter what, because you understand that progress is not made in the moments when everything feels easy. Progress is made when you push through the resistance, when you keep moving even when your mind is full of doubts, when you do the work regardless of how you feel. In the beginning, taking action when you don't feel like it can feel like a battle. There will be days when your mind tries to convince you that you deserve a break, that tomorrow is a better day to start, or that you can skip just this one time. But each time you give in to those thoughts, you reinforce the habit of inaction. You teach yourself that it's okay to procrastinate, that your goals are negotiable, and that your dreams are not urgent. When you choose to act in spite of your feelings, you break this pattern and train yourself to be someone who follows through, no matter the circumstances. The truth is that success is built on the actions you take today, not tomorrow. It's the small, consistent steps that lead to big achievements. You can't afford to wait for the right mood or the right set of conditions. If you wait for everything to align perfectly, you will be waiting forever. Life is unpredictable, and the road to your goals is often anything but smooth. If you're waiting for things to feel just right, you are holding yourself back from the very progress you want to make. The key to overcoming this mental resistance is to take the first step. The hardest part is always getting started. Once you make the decision to move, even if it's just one small action, momentum begins to build. The act of taking the first step diminishes the power of fear and procrastination. It shifts your focus from your feelings to your results. And before you know it, you are on your way to accomplishing something meaningful. The best part is that the more you take action, the easier it becomes. You begin to realize that your feelings don't control you, and you become empowered by your ability to keep going, no matter how you feel. When you take action, even when you don't feel like it, you also start to learn about yourself. You begin to understand that your potential is not limited by how you feel in a given moment. You start to see that the difference between where you are and where you want to be is not about circumstances, it's about your willingness to act. Every time you push through and take action despite not feeling motivated, you prove to yourself that you have what it takes. You build a foundation of confidence and you teach yourself that you are in control of your own success. This is where real growth happens. It's not the easy days that shape your future, it's the hard days, the days when you feel exhausted, unmotivated, uninspired, but you show up anyway. Those are the days that matter the most. On those days, you build resilience, grit, and perseverance. You train yourself to be someone who can thrive even in the toughest moments. Taking action when you don't feel like it is not just about pushing through resistance, it's about proving to yourself that you can accomplish anything regardless of how you feel. Your emotions are temporary, but your actions have the power to shape your future. The more you commit to taking action, regardless of your mood, the closer you get to the life you've always dreamed of. The person you become through consistent action is the person who will achieve extraordinary things, not because they are immune to fear or doubt, but because they are willing to move forward in spite of them. I am worthy of success and happiness. This is a statement that many people struggle to truly believe. They think they don't deserve success or happiness, often because of past failures, mistakes, or negative experiences. They may look at others who seem to have it all and feel like they're not worthy of achieving the same things. But the truth is, worthiness is not determined by what you've done, what you have, or what others think of you. Worthiness is inherent. It is part of who you are. You are worthy of success and happiness simply because you exist. One of the biggest obstacles many people face in achieving their goals and living fulfilling lives is the belief that they're not worthy. They think they haven't earned it yet, that they need to work harder, be better, or somehow prove that they deserve success. But this belief stems from a place of scarcity, a mindset that success and happiness are things that can only go to a select few. The truth, however, is that success and happiness are not limited resources. There is more than enough for everyone. You are just as deserving as anyone else, and you have the right to create the life you want. The journey to accepting your worthiness begins with recognizing that success is not reserved for a few lucky people who have some magical trait or circumstance. Success comes to those who are willing to believe they deserve it and take the necessary steps to achieve it. Too often, people sabotage their own dreams because they don't believe they are worthy of the success they desire. They second-guess themselves, doubt their abilities, and convince themselves that they don't have what it takes. This inner conflict keeps them stuck, never taking the action required to move forward. But the moment you truly embrace your worthiness, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission, you stop holding yourself back, and you start taking steps toward your goals with confidence and certainty. The same applies to happiness. Many people think happiness is something that can only be attained after achieving certain milestones, getting the promotion, building the perfect relationship, or reaching a particular level of success. They live their lives thinking that once they reach this magical point, then they'll be allowed to feel happy. But happiness is not something you have to earn. It is not something that comes only after you have achieved everything on your to-do list. Happiness is a choice, and it begins with the belief that you are worthy of feeling good right now. You are worthy of peace, joy, and contentment no matter what your current circumstances are. When you begin to believe that you are worthy of success and happiness, you change the way you show up in the world. You start to carry yourself differently. You stop waiting for external validation because you no longer need it to prove your worth. You understand that you are enough as you are and that everything you need to achieve your dreams and find happiness is already within you. This shift in mindset empowers you to take bold actions, to step into opportunities, and to embrace your greatness. It's important to remember that being worthy doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you've never made mistakes or experienced setbacks. In fact, your mistakes are a part of your growth, and they don't diminish your worth. You are worthy because of who you are, not because of your achievements or how flawless you are. Everyone has struggles and challenges, but those things do not define you. They are simply a part of your story, and they make you even more deserving of success and happiness because they've shaped you into the person you are today. When you accept your worth, you stop allowing fear, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs to hold you back. You realize that you don't need to be perfect to be deserving. You start to see that your unique qualities, experiences, and contributions are what make you worthy of all the good things that life has to offer. Your worthiness is not based on meeting external standards or fitting into a mold. It's based on the fact that you are a human being deserving of love, success, and happiness just like everyone else. Recognizing that you are worthy of success and happiness allows you to create a life that aligns with your true desires. You begin to live with confidence, knowing that you have the ability to manifest your dreams and build the future you want. You stop playing small and start stepping into your full potential. Your worthiness becomes the foundation for your actions, your mindset, and the way you interact with the world around you. When you accept your worth, you unlock the power to create a life that is rich in success, happiness, and fulfillment. I embrace failure as part of my success. Failure is something that many people fear. They see it as a negative, something to avoid at all costs. They believe that failure means they are not good enough, that they've made a mistake, or that they're not capable of succeeding. But in reality, failure is an essential part of the process of achieving anything worthwhile. It is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. Every great success story has failure embedded in it. Behind every achievement, there is a series of missteps, mistakes, and lessons learned the hard way. The key to success is not avoiding failure, but using it as a tool for growth and learning. Failure teaches you lessons that success cannot. When you succeed right away, you often miss the opportunity to truly understand what went into achieving that success. But when you fail, you are forced to reflect, to adjust, and to improve. Failure forces you to ask important questions. What went wrong? What could I have done differently? What did I learn from this experience? These are the questions that lead to growth. Every failure is an opportunity to refine your approach, sharpen your skills, and become better. Without failure, there can be no improvement. People who are afraid of failure often avoid taking risks. They stay in their comfort zone, sticking to what they know and avoiding anything that might challenge them. But growth only happens outside of your comfort zone. If you never fail, it means you're not pushing yourself hard enough. The most successful people in the world have failed countless times, but they don't let those failures define them. Instead, they see each failure as a stepping stone on the way to success. They understand that failure is a temporary setback, not a permanent state. It's simply a part of the journey. The fear of failure can hold you back from reaching your full potential. It can prevent you from trying new things, taking risks, and stepping into your greatness. But when you embrace failure as part of the process, you free yourself from the shackles of fear. You understand that failure is not the opposite of success, it is a vital part of it. Every time you fail, you are one step closer to success. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the more likely you are to succeed in the long run. Failure also builds resilience. It teaches you how to persevere in the face of adversity. When you experience failure and keep going, you develop the mental toughness required to handle life's challenges. It's easy to give up when things don't go as planned, but the true test of your character is how you respond to failure. Do you let it defeat you, or do you use it to fuel your determination to keep moving forward? Resilience is what allows you to bounce back after failure and continue pursuing your goals with even more drive and focus. Moreover, failure helps you get rid of the fear of judgment. Many people avoid failure because they worry about what others will think of them. They fear criticism, rejection, or the embarrassment of not succeeding. But the truth is that everyone fails. No one is exempt from failure, no matter how successful they may seem. And the more you fail, the more you realize that others are not judging you as harshly as you think. People are often too caught up in their own lives to focus on your failures. The fear of judgment is often a product of our own insecurities, not the reality of how others see us. When you embrace failure, you also embrace vulnerability. You become open to learning, to growth, and to transformation. You no longer see failure as a reflection of your worth, but as a necessary part of the process of becoming who you are meant to be. The most successful people in the world are not those who have avoided failure, but those who have learned to fail forward. They have embraced their failures, learned from them, and used them to propel themselves to even greater heights. In every failure, there is a lesson. The key is to take those lessons and apply them to your future endeavors. When you can shift your perspective on failure, it becomes a tool for success rather than an obstacle to it. Embrace failure as part of your success story. Recognize that it is not something to be feared, but something to be welcomed with open arms. Each failure brings you closer to the person you are meant to be and the success you are destined to achieve. I am in control of my thoughts, emotions, and actions. The ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Every day we are faced with challenges, distractions, and external pressures that can trigger emotional reactions or lead us to act impulsively. But when you understand that you have control over how you respond to these stimuli, you begin to realize how much power you truly possess. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions are the building blocks of your reality. They shape your experiences, influence your relationships, and determine your success. When you take responsibility for them, you take responsibility for your life. The first step in taking control of your thoughts is recognizing that not every thought you have is true or helpful. The human mind is constantly generating thoughts, some of which are positive and empowering, while others are negative and limiting. It's easy to get caught up in negative thinking, especially when faced with challenges, setbacks, or self-doubt. But just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean you have to accept it as fact. Thoughts are just mental events, they come and go. You have the power to choose which thoughts you allow to dominate your mind and which ones you discard. Controlling your thoughts means consciously redirecting your focus and choosing to think thoughts that serve your best interests. When you catch yourself thinking negatively or catastrophizing about a situation, you can make the decision to reframe your thinking. Instead of thinking this will never work, you can choose to think I may not know how to solve this right now, but I'll figure it out. When you change your thoughts, you change your perspective. And when you change your perspective, you change your reality. By controlling your thoughts, you open yourself up to new possibilities and creative solutions. Emotions, too, are something we can control. It's natural to feel a wide range of emotions, from joy and excitement to fear and anger. Emotions are powerful forces, and they can deeply influence our actions and decisions. However, emotions are temporary. They rise and fall, just like the tide. The key to mastering your emotions is not about suppressing or denying them, but about understanding that you are not at their mercy. You don't have to be ruled by your emotions. When you feel anger or frustration rising, you can choose to pause, breathe, and take a step back before reacting. When you feel fear or anxiety, you can acknowledge the feeling, but choose not to let it control your behavior. Emotional control is about creating a gap between the stimulus, the event or situation that triggers the emotion, and the response to your reaction. In that gap, you have the power to choose how you respond. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond thoughtfully. This gives you a sense of peace and clarity, allowing you to make better decisions, especially in stressful situations. It also helps you maintain strong relationships, as emotional control prevents you from saying or doing things in the heat of the moment that you might regret later. Your actions are the natural result of your thoughts and emotions, and when you control them, you control your behavior. Taking responsibility for your actions means no longer blaming external circumstances or other people for your results. You understand that you have the power to choose how you respond to any given situation. When faced with a challenge, you can choose to take productive action or to remain stuck in inaction. When faced with a difficult person or a negative situation, you can choose to respond with grace, understanding, or assertiveness rather than reacting impulsively or defensively. Your actions are a direct reflection of your mindset. If you believe you are in control of your thoughts and emotions, you will act with confidence, resilience, and purpose. If you believe that your thoughts and emotions control you, you will likely act in ways that reinforce a sense of powerlessness or frustration. Taking control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions means stepping into your personal power. It means no longer allowing circumstances to dictate your life, but instead taking the lead in creating your own path. This level of control doesn't come overnight. It takes practice, self-awareness, and a willingness to grow. But the more you practice controlling your thoughts, emotions, and actions, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you will develop a stronger sense of self-discipline and inner peace. You will find that you are better able to handle stress, stay focused on your goals, and navigate life's challenges with greater ease and confidence. When you master the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you unlock the key to living a life of purpose, fulfillment, and success. I surround myself with positive, supportive people. The people you choose to spend your time with have a profound impact on your life. They shape your beliefs, influence your behavior, and affect your mindset. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, criticism, and doubt, it becomes incredibly difficult to stay motivated, optimistic, or focused on your goals. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with positive, supportive people, you create an environment that nurtures your growth, encourages your dreams, and uplifts your spirit. The people around you either empower you or hold you back, and it's up to you to decide who you allow into your life. Positive, supportive people are those who believe in your potential, cheer you on, and help you become the best version of yourself. They don't try to tear you down or make you feel small. Instead, they inspire you to rise higher and push past your limits. These are the people who encourage you when things get tough, remind you of your strengths when you start doubting yourself, and celebrate your successes no matter how big or small. They bring out the best in you, not because they are perfect, but because their energy, optimism, and belief in you are contagious. On the contrary, negative, unsupportive people can have a detrimental effect on your progress. They often bring you down intentionally or unintentionally by focusing on what's wrong rather than what's right. They may criticize your ideas, make you question your decisions, or fill your mind with self-doubt. When you are constantly exposed to this kind of energy, it becomes difficult to stay focused on your goals and maintain a positive mindset. Negative people thrive on drama and pessimism, and if you're not careful, their energy can begin to drain you, leaving you feeling depleted and uninspired. This is why it's essential to choose your relationships wisely. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people doesn't mean that you have to be with people who are always happy, upbeat, or perfect. It means choosing people who encourage you, challenge you to grow, and stand by you during tough times. These people are emotionally available, empathetic, and genuinely interested in your success. They provide constructive feedback when needed, but always with the intention of helping you improve, not tearing you down. When you are around people who lift you up, you are more likely to stay motivated, persevere through challenges, and take risks that push you toward your goals. The power of surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people goes beyond just motivation. It also shapes your mindset. When you are around people who focus on solutions rather than problems, who see opportunities rather than obstacles, you begin to adopt this same way of thinking. You start to believe that challenges are opportunities for growth, that setbacks are temporary, and that your dreams are achievable. The more you surround yourself with people who think positively and act with purpose, the more you begin to embody these qualities yourself. Being around positive, supportive people also teaches you the value of community and collaboration. Success is rarely a solo journey, and having a strong support system can make all the difference. Whether it's a mentor who shares their wisdom, a friend who listens when you need to vent, or a colleague who helps you with a project, the right people can open doors, provide new perspectives, and help you reach your goals faster. In a supportive environment, you are encouraged to share your dreams and ideas without fear of judgment or criticism. You feel safe to take risks and make mistakes, knowing that those around you will be there to pick you up and help you keep going. One of the greatest benefits of surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people is that it helps you build resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and no one is immune to setbacks or hardships. However, when you have people around you who genuinely care about you, they provide a cushion during difficult times. They offer encouragement, advice, and support that help you navigate challenges with a sense of strength and hope. With the right people by your side, you can face even the tough circumstances with the confidence that you are not alone. It's important to note that surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people doesn't mean you should isolate yourself from everyone else. It means being intentional about who you spend your time with and ensuring that the people in your life align with your values, goals, and vision. It's about creating a circle of influence that encourages growth, positivity, and success. You don't need to have a large group of people around you sometimes. Even just a few close, supportive individuals are enough to make a profound difference in your life. Ultimately, the people you surround yourself with shape your reality. They influence how you think, how you feel, and how you act. When you surround yourself with positivity, encouragement, and support, you create an environment that propels you forward and helps you achieve your goals. Surrounding yourself with the right people is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward creating the life you desire. I take full responsibility for my life and my outcomes. Taking full responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It means acknowledging that you are in control of your thoughts, actions, and choices, and that the results you achieve are a direct reflection of those choices. When you take full responsibility for your life, you stop blaming external factors, other people, or circumstances for your situation. Instead, you recognize that you are the one who holds the power to create the life you want. This mindset shift is critical for success because it frees you from the victim mentality and places you squarely in the driver's seat of your own life. Many people struggle with taking responsibility for their outcomes. It's easy to point fingers when things don't go as planned. We often look for someone or something to blame: a difficult boss, a lack of resources, bad luck, or the economy. However, while these external factors may influence our lives, they do not dictate our success. Ultimately, it is how we respond to these challenges that determines our outcomes. When you take full responsibility, you acknowledge that you can't control everything around you, but you can control how you react. You choose how to approach obstacles, how to learn from failures, and how to persist through adversity. Taking responsibility for your life also means recognizing that every decision you make contributes to your future. Each choice, no matter how small, has an impact on your life. Whether you choose to work toward your goals every day, whether you decide to stay positive or give in to negativity, or whether you allow fear to dictate your actions, every decision is yours. When you take full responsibility, you stop waiting for external circumstances to change and realize that change begins with you. You are the one who must take consistent action toward your goals, no matter how challenging the journey may seem. This mindset shift is not about perfection, it's about ownership. Life is messy and we all face setbacks, mistakes, and failures. But when you take responsibility for your life, you accept that these things are a part of the process. Instead of shying away from them or pretending they don't exist, you acknowledge them and learn from them. Every failure is an opportunity to grow, and every challenge is a chance to improve. When you take responsibility, you stop seeing setbacks as something that happened to you. Instead, you view them as valuable lessons that have been placed in your path to help you develop the strength, resilience, and knowledge you need to succeed. Taking full responsibility also means taking control of your mindset. It's easy to fall into negative thinking when life doesn't go as planned. It's easy to feel like a victim or to give up when things are tough. But when you take responsibility, you recognize that your thoughts and beliefs are powerful. You understand that how you think about a situation will shape how you respond to it. If you believe that you are powerless, you will act in ways that reinforce that belief. If you believe that you are capable of overcoming challenges, you will take action that reflects that belief. The thoughts you hold in your mind will dictate the actions you take and ultimately the outcomes you achieve. When you take responsibility for your life, you understand that your mindset is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Another critical aspect of taking responsibility is letting go of the blame game. When we blame others or our circumstances, we relinquish control of the situation. We allow external factors to dictate our lives instead of taking charge of our own destiny. Blaming others gives away your power and places it in the hands of those you're blaming. But when you take full responsibility, you reclaim your power. You no longer waste time blaming or complaining. Instead, you focus on what you can control: your actions, your responses, and your decisions. This shift in focus empowers you to create the changes you desire and to move forward with confidence and purpose. Taking responsibility also means committing to continuous improvement. It means taking an honest look at yourself and your life and asking, what can I do better? How can I improve? What steps can I take today to move closer to my goals? When you take responsibility for your life, you become proactive rather than reactive. You seek solutions, look for opportunities to learn, and strive to better yourself every day. You understand that growth is a lifelong journey and that you are the one who is ultimately responsible for that growth. Taking full responsibility for your life and your outcomes is not always easy, but it is one of the most liberating things you can do. It gives you the freedom to create the life you want, no matter what has happened in the past. It removes excuses and empowers you to take the actions necessary to achieve your goals. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for things to happen to you and start making things happen for yourself. You understand that the power to change your life lies within you, and you are willing to step up, take action, and own your future.